So I was traveling by train from Gujarat, a western part of India, down to the south of India. And it's a train journey that typically takes 2 days. So there were 6 bunks to the train compartment. And I was sitting on the very top one. And all of the rest of the seats were taken up by men. And every time we would stop at a station, they would order some food. And there was always food at the train station. There was always food being passed through the window by sellers. And so they would grab the food, eat it, and throw their remains or garbage out the window. And this happened for maybe 2 or 3 train stops. Every time it would happen, I would get more and more frustrated and more confused as to why they were doing that. Meanwhile, I was also eating on the train, and all of my garbage was piling up in a bag that I had tied to my bunk. And at one point, I just asked them, "What are you guys doing? And why are you throwing your food out of the window?" And they just laughed, and for a little bit of time, they just kept doing it, throwing their food and their trash out of the window. And so finally, there was one time where one of the gentlemen was about to throw his food and remains out of the window, and I grabbed his hand. And I know that this was the wrong thing to do, but I grabbed his hand and I said, "Don't do that." And I grabbed it and I threw it into my bin. And I said, "Look, this is the way that you're supposed to throw your trash out." So I was like angry and annoyed, and I wanted to tell them, what was to be done with the trash. And it was just really kind of, this is my moment to shine kind of thing. And so, slowly they started putting their trash into my bin. Like one by one, they began eating more and more and started putting things into my little bin. By the time the train reached the train station, it had now been, a few days at this point of time. So we got to the train station in the south where we were supposed to all disembark the train. I took my little bin. I was so happy that I'd collected all of this great amount of garbage. I basically went to the platform and I threw the entire bag of trash into the garbage pail. The next minute I turn around and the entire bin of trash, the entire bag of trash inside of the bin was being taken and thrown onto the train track by the people who clean the bins. And I just looked at the train track and I looked at these guys because they were right behind me. They were laughing furiously. And I just thought to myself, I cannot believe that I wasted an entire train journey getting upset with these individuals for doing exactly what everyone else had done. Here was a chance for me to show that there can be a pathway towards a cleaner India. And I really built this kind of entire thing up in my head that if we started kind of in this small way, that other people would then build the momentum. Of course, there are going to be a complex set of actors wherever you go, but that doesn't mean that an individual shouldn't try. I think what we need to hold ourselves to recognizing is that in that trialing process, it's the emotions that we can hold ourselves to and have everyone else experience that actually can make or break a situation.